Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently. My project stuff, the Bentley, or Dentley as Steve Leveley calls it, we're waiting on some parts. It won't be here for a few more weeks, so we're going to hold off on that for now. The wide body is unfortunately still at the body shop. Today we're just going to show you a little bit more day-to-day operations. We've got the NGTD ready to go to auction. If you like what we're doing, let us know. If you don't like what we're doing, let us know. I want to entertain you guys. I want to keep you coming back, and I want you to subscribe. Speaking of subscribers, I had some helpful suggestions from one of our subscribers. I got a new wide angle lens, so let us know and hit that subscribe button.
Bad boy made a lot of noise. Basically it had some lifter noises going on. Trying to, put a little engine flush through it, change the oil, go to kind of a heavier weight. The idea behind that is heavier weight has a little bit more resistance to flow, which generates more pressure. It can hopefully take up that slack. So the new oil's in, we're gonna fire it up and see if the noise is better, the same, worse.
It's a little better.
Give it a little boost. All right, so when you have a motor where you're concerned about lifter noise, one of the things you can do is let the oil get warm, rev it up just like I did, let it sit. If the noise starts to go away and then you come back to idle and it actually sounds pretty decent, that pretty much means that your lifter is not like gunky or anything. It's just kind of worn out and clapped. With the thicker oil, the noise will be less, but eventually that effect will wear off and ultimately the lifters. But for right now, it's essentially a success. But today though, it sounds way better.
And for me, less noise is more money. With the engine quieted down on this now, this is the car that a couple of months ago when I got it, exploded a geyser of coolant in my face when I first started it. That's all resolved. The engine noises are gone. I think I'm gonna send this one off to paint. I think this car deserves a paint job. And I think just nice fresh red and some black trim, it'll look really, really good. So that is the plan for this one. We'll get off the body shop on Monday with the Porsche. If the body shop will make progress on my wide body, because that's really frustrating me. Dan at Mako.
Wait, are these the original hood struts?
Yeah, they look like it.
Man. See, they don't make them the way they used to. Look at that. Wow.
I learned something on these stupid little hood cap things that I've always wondered why they were on there. It's because the struts are too tall for the hood. So these give space for the strut tops to be there. So. So I've neglected this car since I got it. I got the Eagle Talon at the same time and I put more effort into that and that sold right away. This one's kind of been pushed to the wayside. Stealths aren't as popular as like the 3000 GTs. They're kind of like the stepchild of that era, but I like them. This car seems to run and drive really, really well. Early 90s cars, late 80s cars, the dollar value is really coming up on those. People like me who are now middle-aged and who grew up in the 80s and 90s, it's nostalgia. They want these cars. So I'm happy to put these cars back on the road and bring it back to their former glory, so to speak. So it's a lot of fun for me and balanced. I'm just surprised at how well this car is driving. Alright, so this car feels good enough for me to send to paint. Interior is all in good shape. Mechanicals are all sorted out. It'll be nice and red here soon and up for sale.
Alright, this is one of the Jason's got for sale. It's a E6X chassis, 6 Series BMW 550. I like this chassis. I like the coupe and the sedan, my favorites. I love the E's. And I know that there's an issue with the vehicle not wanting to start randomly, which I think is related to the CAS. Basically, it's like an intermittent immobilizer situation that happens. But he also said that when he drives it down the street, it now goes into limp mode, and that's kind of something I'm concerned about, because as much as I like these cars, there are some problem areas that can come from the engine or the transmission or both. It may not be that bad. It can be so many different things. There's a couple of things we don't want, and that's any kind of gear ratio fault or any kind of real Valvetronic limit position learn fault or anything like that. Alright, we're just going to get the scanner hooked up, connected to the car. Go ahead and get this thing scanned up. It looks like we actually have quite a bit of faults here, so... Alright, so we're going to just let this chill back here. See if we can get anything to happen. Kind of just go ahead and cruise along. Give it a little extra. This car has got a 5-liter V8 engine to N62, and I think it makes somewhere in the neighborhood of about 350 horsepower, maybe more. Feels like it's pulling pretty good. Oh, we got some noises going on here. That didn't sound good. Almost like something stuck up in the rotor, like almost maybe like a rock or something. Brake pads look okay. Rotor's got a little bit of a surface rust from sitting, but I think there might be like maybe a rock or a pebble or something that got caught up in there, because it's a very specific rotational noise. I don't know, I'm not seeing what it is right now, but I don't think it'll prevent us from test driving, so let's kind of get back in and see if we can give it a little extra and see if we can get something to happen. Like all European cars, especially from this era, there's typically some quirks and things you need to be worried about. One of those things is an issue where the fluid in the transmission is not getting adequate pressure because of a small seal. People call it a square seal, a bridge seal. And what that does is it affects the overall fluid flow to the vehicle. It calls this like fluid adaptations. Head back, see what we can find. It's not like our wheel noise is gone, so I'm pretty confident that it must have been some kind of rock or pebble or something. Let's go ahead and kind of scan the car one more time. I don't think we're going to find anything. Oh, here we go. Now look at this. So here's something interesting. So this knock sensor signal 2 code, now here's what I can tell you. A lot of times when a customer, or in this case Jason, says that a car goes into limp mode, what they're describing is that there was a loss of power or something that didn't feel right. A knock sensor that loses its signal would not necessarily generate limp mode. Oh my gosh, what is it doing? I think he's supposed to be making some noises now. That show's before my time, so I don't know any quotes or I'd start saying them.
That's where the name Starbuck came from.
Starbuck?
Starbucks?
Oh.
That's where the name came from.
From what? What is it?
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh.
How do you not know that?
I've heard that name before, but I was never really like into the...
Did you have a bad childhood?
That might be before me. I was Ghostbusters, Goonies. As far as TV shows, I was MacGyver and A-Team. That was my thing.
I'm sorry, your big brother was not better to you.
Yes. No,
Mac, you owe Steve an apology.
I'm sure he knows what it is. He liked Starsky and Hutch. That was his show.
Of course he did. He's a cop.
Yeah, I guess. That was his show as a kid. My brother's a cop, and when he was a little kid, he loved Starsky and Hutch. So, you know, dream achieved. So what I can tell you right now is that a knock sensor signal 2, to not bore you with a lot of information, basically an engine can produce a lot of power, but the computer is there to make sure that there isn't too much zip-zowie being given to the car, too much ignition timing, not enough fuel, and it uses that knock sensor to determine if something's wrong. Basically means that the computer's looking for it and it's not seeing it. That can happen from a failing knock sensor. Maybe something is loose, maybe a wire is pulled. Is the connection from the computer all the way to that sensor in good condition? Then we can start to look at the sensors, like, you know, these can potentially fail and cause the signal to not work. That would be kind of a basic strategy, not knowing the intricacies specific to this car, how I would approach that problem.
There's screws on each side also. I I'm gonna have them paint like the strut towers and stuff and down in there. But when we get it back, the underside of the car and the lower engine compartment, I'm gonna have it dry ice blasted.
Oh, nice.
I think we can put together a really, really, really show-stopping car with not a lot of money out of pocket, just labor. All right, well, that's it for today. Tell us what you liked, tell us what you didn't like. Smash the subscribe button. Our merch store is coming soon. 3 weeks to Mecum, Las Vegas. It'll be a whole lot of fun.